Let us take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE that has made quite a strong comeback today after a few sessions of trading in the red, even though it did get a mixed handover from the Asian markets. That was amid China's inflation print for May coming out below what markets had anticipated at 0. With growth of 0.3% year on year. We are seeing a sea of a green on that front. The all share up almost 1.5%. The Resources 10 complex carrying the bulk of those gains, advancing more than 1.5%. Financial 15 up by almost a similar margin. And the Industrial 25, they're eking out a gain of more than 1%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the U.S. markets. And of course, markets are waiting the Fed's next interest rate decision that is coming out at around 8 p.m. South African time. And of course, ahead of that, we did have the inflation figure for May, the consumer inflation coming out with an acceleration of 3.3% year on year. That coming out slightly less than what markets had anticipated. So, of course, an inflation figure that does surprise to the downside, signals optimism from the markets, as we are seeing here with the tech-heavy NASDAQ there climbing almost 2%. The S&P 500 also rocketing there by more than 1%, and the Dow advancing more than 0.25%. Let's take a look at what is happening with markets across the Atlantic. And we also did get some data coming out from the UK, more data coming out from the UK today, with the GDP for the month of April coming out flat, of course, less than the 0.4% expansion that we did see in March. But we are seeing that optimism filtering through to those markets as well. The FTSE 100 with a gain of almost 0.9%. The CAC 40 up more than 1%. And the DAX climbing almost 1.5%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. The rand quite strong actually against the US dollar today by almost 0.75%, standing at 18 rand 39 against the US dollar, against the pound at 23 rand 62, and against the euro at 19 rand 95. Let's check in with the other currency pairs, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.08, pound dollar at 1.28, and the yen just below 156 against the US dollar.